Have you ever heard the saying, brains over brawn? Today, I'm going to tell you a story that perfectly illustrates this idea. It's a tale about how true strength isn't always about muscles and power, but about the cleverness inside your mind. Long ago, nestled in a quiet village, lived a family of 8 siblings, 7 strong brothers and 1 beautiful younger sister. The sister was the light of the family, cherished by everyone. Among the brothers, however, the youngest was different. He was born with a physical disability and needed a stick to help him walk. While his body was weak, his mind was exceptionally sharp. He was by far the most intelligent of them all. His 6 older brothers were famous for their bravery and strength. They were proud warriors, but they often failed to see the value in their youngest brother's wisdom. They saw his physical weakness and judged him for it, never realizing the true power he held. One fateful day, a terrifying shadow fell over the village. A monstrous demon with a fearsome reputation stormed in and snatched the beautiful sister away. He dragged her to his lair, a dark cave hidden deep within a dense, forbidding forest. The 6 elder brothers were furious and immediately vowed to rescue their sister. They gathered their weapons, their hearts burning with a desire for vengeance. But when their youngest brother asked to join them, they scoffed. "Please," he pleaded, leaning on his stick, "take me with you. I might be weak, but I know I can help you in some way." The oldest brother shook his head dismissively. "You can't even walk properly. You'll only slow us down. Stay here where you'll be safe." The other brothers agreed, their faces stern. They couldn't imagine how their disabled brother could possibly contribute to a dangerous rescue mission. But the youngest was persistent. He argued. He reasoned, he begged. He wouldn't take no for an answer. Finally, exhausted by his pleading and eager to begin their journey, the elder brothers reluctantly agreed to let him come. As they prepared to leave, the youngest brother began gathering provisions. He packed bread, cheese, and dried fruits into a large sack. "We're going on a long journey," he explained. "We'll need this food to keep our strength up." His brothers erupted in laughter. "Taking you is already a burden." One of them sneered. "Now you want us to carry food as well? We are warriors. We can hunt for our food if we need to." But the youngest brother stood his ground. He stubbornly insisted, refusing to move until they agreed. Seeing no other way to get started, they grumbled and finally gave in, letting him carry the heavy sack of food himself. The journey began. The 7 brothers ventured into the wilderness, their determination pushing them forward. They walked for hours, through winding paths and across rocky terrain. The sun beat down on them, and soon their initial burst of energy faded. Their stomachs began to rumble, and a gnawing hunger set in. The forest, which had seemed full of potential game, was strangely silent. Just as their spirits were starting to drop, the youngest brother stopped. With a knowing smile, he opened his sack. "Here," he said, offering them the food he had so carefully packed. "This is exactly what I was talking about." The elder brothers stared at the food, their mouths watering. Their pride was a small price to pay for a full stomach. They ate gratefully, their hunger overpowering their embarrassment. For the first time on the journey, they looked at their youngest brother with a flicker of respect. They had been wrong, and his foresight had saved them from needless suffering. With renewed energy, they continued their trek. As they walked deeper into the forest, they came across a few peculiar items scattered along the path. First, a large pile of dry, brittle leaves. Next, a heap of sun-bleached animal bones. And finally, a long, thick rope abandoned near an old well. Each time, the youngest brother stopped and announced his intention to take the items with them. "More junk?" One of his brothers complained when he started gathering the leaves. "What could we possibly do with a pile of dead leaves? These are useless." Another chimed in as he picked up the bones, but the youngest brother simply looked at them calmly and replied, "Then give me back my food." The brothers fell silent. They had already eaten the food and couldn't return it. Trapped by their own hunger and his clever logic, they had no choice but to let him collect the strange assortment of items. They grumbled and rolled their eyes, but they helped him carry his peculiar treasures. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they arrived at the demon's cave. The entrance was a gaping maw in the side of a dark, rocky cliff. Peeking inside, they saw their sister, tied to a large stone, her face pale with fear, and standing guard over her was the demon. He was even more terrifying than the stories had described. A towering beast of immense power, with claws like daggers and eyes that glowed with malice. The sight of the demon sent a wave of fear through the 6 elder brothers. Their bravado evaporated, replaced by a cold, heavy dread. He's too powerful, they whispered amongst themselves. It's impossible to defeat him. We'll all be killed. Their courage, which had carried them this far, had finally met its match. But as his brothers froze in terror, the disabled youngest brother's mind was racing. He wasn't looking at the demon's strength. He was looking for a weakness, and he realized the demon's greatest weakness was the same as his brother's: fear. He had a plan. Quietly, he got to work. He took the pile of dry leaves and arranged them just outside the cave entrance, in the dark shadows. In the dim, flickering light from the demon's fire, they looked exactly like dozens of glowing, watchful eyes staring out from the darkness. Next, he took the animal bones. He quickly tied them together with vines, creating a crude but massive skeleton. He propped it up in the shadows, so it cast a terrifying, gigantic silhouette against the cave wall, appearing like a monster far larger than the demon himself. Finally, he took the long rope. He looped it around a sturdy tree branch and began to pull it back and forth, dragging a heavy rock across the gravelly ground. The sound it created was a deep, rumbling, rhythmic thud, thud, thud. It sounded exactly like the heavy, monstrous footsteps of a giant approaching the cave. Inside, the demon heard the terrifying sounds. He peered out of his cave and his blood ran cold. He saw the army of glowing eyes, the colossal shadow of a skeletal beast, and heard the deafening, earth-shaking footsteps getting closer and closer. His powerful mind, which was used to causing fear, was now consumed by it. There's a giant demon out there, he thought, his heart pounding in his chest. A monster even bigger and more terrifying than me. Without a second thought, the creature who had terrified an entire village turned and fled, disappearing into the depths of the forest as fast as his legs could carry him. The moment the demon was gone, the brothers rushed inside. They untied their sister, who wept with joy and relief. They hugged her tightly, their hearts overflowing with happiness. On the journey home, there was no more mockery or disdain. Instead, the elder brothers walked beside their youngest brother, their faces filled with awe and admiration. They carried his stick for him, showering him with praise. They had set out to be heroes, but the true hero was the one they had almost left behind. This story teaches us a powerful lesson. True strength doesn't always come from muscles or a loud voice. Intelligence, creativity, and wisdom are forces that can overcome any obstacle, even when you feel small or weak. The youngest brother used ordinary, discarded things, leaves, bones, and a rope to create an extraordinary result. He showed that fear is often a product of our own imagination, but that same imagination can also be our most powerful weapon. Never underestimate the power of a clever mind. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales that make you think. See you next time.